There's a thought-provoking myth that's been holding you back for years. You've been told that willpower is either something you're born with or you're not. That some people are just naturally disciplined, while others are doomed to give up on day 3 of their diet.
But here's the thing that'll blow your mind. You know what I used to think? I genuinely believed I was one of those weak-willed people.
Every January, I'd watch my friend Jessica crush her fitness goals while I'd be face-deep in a pizza by February. And if you've ever felt the same way, you're not alone. Society has literally programmed us to believe willpower is this mystical gift from the universe.
But wait, let me ask you something crazy. If willpower was truly something you're born with, if it was hardwired into your DNA, then why would billion-dollar diet industries even exist?
Here's my favorite way to put this myth to rest. If willpower was truly genetic, no one would be searching for diets, and cupcakes would have vanished from planet Earth by now. And here's where science comes in with a complete game changer. Modern research has completely shattered this myth.
Your willpower actually functions exactly like a muscle. And just like you can train your biceps to lift heavier weights, you can train your willpower to handle bigger challenges.
This isn't motivational fluff. This is hard science. Brain scans show that people who practice willpower exercises literally grow new neural pathways. Their prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for self-control, actually gets stronger and denser. So that friend Jessica I mentioned, she wasn't born with superhuman discipline. She just accidentally discovered what neuroscientists have been proving in labs for decades. But here's what most people get wrong about building willpower, and it's probably why your past attempts have failed. Now, in the 1990s, a psychologist named Roy Baumeister made a discovery that changed everything we thought we knew about self-control. And what he found will completely explain why you are exhausted by 6 p.m. and reaching for that bag of chips. You wake up motivated. You resist the donuts at the office meeting. You choose salad over pizza at lunch. You bite your tongue when your coworker makes that annoying comment. And then you get home and completely collapse into Netflix and ice cream. Sound familiar? Here's what Baumeister discovered through his groundbreaking experiments, and this is going to change how you think about your failures forever. He brought people into his lab and gave them 2 simple tasks. First group had to resist eating freshly baked chocolate chip cookies while only eating radishes. Torture, right? The second group got to eat whatever they wanted.
Then, both groups were given an impossible puzzle to solve. And here's where it gets fascinating.
The people who had to resist the cookies, they gave up on the puzzle in just 8 minutes. But the people who didn't have to use their willpower earlier, they kept trying for 19 minutes, more than twice as long. This experiment revealed something revolutionary. Every single act of self-control drained the same mental resource. Baumeister called this ego depletion, and it explains why your evenings feel so much harder than your mornings. Think of your willpower like a mobile bank account. Every time you make a payment, resisting temptation, making a tough decision, staying focused on boring work, your balance drops. And here's the kicker that most people miss. It's not just about resisting chocolate or skipping happy hour. Scientists confirmed that willpower gets drained by any complex decision throughout your day. This is why Steve Jobs wore the same black turtleneck every day. Why Barack Obama only wore gray or blue suits. They understood something most people don't. Decision fatigue is real, and it's silently sabotaging your self-control. But here's where this gets really interesting. Just like your phone battery, your willpower can be recharged. And just like going to the gym makes your muscles stronger, there are specific ways to build your willpower muscle so it lasts longer and recovers faster. The question is, what if I told you there are people who figured out how to triple their willpower capacity, and it's simpler than you think? So where exactly does this willpower live in your brain? And why does it seem to completely abandon you at the worst possible moments? Let me take you on a quick journey inside your head. Right behind your forehead, there's a region called the prefrontal cortex. Think of it as your brain's CEO, the executive making all the tough decisions. When this brain region gets damaged, people literally lose their ability to control impulses. There are documented cases of patients who, after prefrontal cortex injuries, became completely different people. Responsible adults suddenly couldn't save money, stick to plans, or resist immediate gratification. It's like their internal pause button just disappeared. Now, your prefrontal cortex isn't damaged, but something else might be shutting it down temporarily. You see, brain scans reveal something most people never consider. Emotional exhaustion destroys your self-control faster than physical tiredness ever could. When you're stressed, anxious, or emotionally drained, blood flow to your prefrontal cortex actually decreases. Think about the last time you had a really stressful day at work. Did you come home and make healthy choices? Or did you find yourself mindlessly scrolling through your phone, ordering takeout, and binge-watching TV until way too late? That wasn't a character flaw. That was your brain literally running out of fuel. Because here's something that'll blow your mind. Your willpower runs on glucose, actual blood sugar. When your glucose levels drop, your prefrontal cortex starts shutting down like a phone in power-saving mode. This is why you make terrible decisions when you're hungry, and why every diet seems impossible to stick to. Scientists have proven this in the lab. They gave one group of people a glucose drink and another group an artificial sweetener. Then they tested their willpower with various challenges. And that's when I realized something that changed everything. But before I tell you what happened next, if you're finding this story as crazy as I did living it, hit that subscribe button, because the ending is going to shock you even more than it shocked me. But wait, before you reach for a candy bar thinking it's the solution, there's a much smarter way to fuel your willpower that most people completely miss. And it's not what the supplement companies want you to believe. The real secret lies in understanding how your brain's energy system actually works, and why some people seem to have unlimited self-control while others crash and burn. Now here's the million-dollar question everyone's asking. Can you actually strengthen your willpower in just 5 minutes a day? The answer might surprise you. No, you won't see instant results. But yes, you can trigger something in your brain that's far more powerful than any quick fix. When you do push-ups, you don't walk out of the gym with bigger muscles, but something invisible is happening beneath the surface. Your muscle fibers are rebuilding themselves stronger. The same exact process happens with your willpower, except it's your neural pathways that are getting stronger. And here's what most people get wrong about willpower training. They think it has to be some massive, heroic effort, like going from couch potato to marathon runner overnight. Roy Baumeister put it perfectly. Self-control isn't about making one dramatic leap. It's about resisting small acts of laziness every single day. The person who can resist checking their phone for 30 minutes is building the same neural muscle they'll need to resist that late-night ice cream binge. It's all connected. So what does willpower training actually look like? Here's where it gets beautifully simple. Researchers found that people who practice tiny daily habits, things like drinking a glass of water before every meal, consciously sitting up straight, or writing down every purchase they made, showed remarkable improvements in just 2 weeks. Not improvements in drinking water or posture. Improvements in resisting major temptations they weren't even practicing for. One study participant started with just tracking her coffee purchases. After 2 weeks, she found herself naturally eating smaller portions, exercising more regularly, and even saving more money. None of this was her original goal. Every time she paused to write down that $4 latte, her prefrontal cortex was doing a tiny workout, like a single push-up. Insignificant on its own, but incredibly powerful when done consistently. But here's the key that separates people who succeed from those who give up after a week. You have to pick the right micro-habit. It can't be random. There's actually a specific type of small action that creates maximum neuroplasticity with minimum effort. And once you understand this principle, you'll never struggle with self-control the same way again. But here's where most people absolutely destroy their progress. And it's the mistake I made for years. They treat willpower like it's an endless resource that should never need a break. Picture this. You wouldn't go to the gym and do bicep curls for 12 hours straight, then get angry when your arms give out, right? Yet that's exactly what we do with our willpower every single day. We wake up making decisions. We resist temptations all morning. We push through difficult tasks all afternoon. Then we get home and wonder why we can't stick to our evening routine.
Just like muscles need recovery time to grow stronger, your willpower needs strategic breaks to avoid what scientists call ego exhaustion burnout. Push too hard without recovery, and you'll actually make your self-control weaker, not stronger.
But here's the fascinating part most people never hear about. The way you recover your willpower is completely different from what you might expect. Yes, sleep works. Yes, proper nutrition helps. But researchers discovered something that might sound crazy. Laughter and self-compassion restore your willpower faster than rest alone. Think about the last time you failed at something. Maybe you ate the cookie you promised you wouldn't, or skipped the gym, or procrastinated on that important project. What did you do next? People who laugh at their mistakes and treat themselves with kindness bounce back to full willpower capacity in minutes. People who criticize themselves stay depleted for hours, sometimes days. There's actually a perfect way to think about this, and it makes me chuckle every time. Your dietitian and your self-control live next door to each other, but sometimes they both go on vacation Friday evening. The strongest people aren't those who never fail. They're the ones who've mastered the art of recovery. The research is clear. Meditation works like a power nap for your prefrontal cortex. A 10-minute walk in nature can completely reset your decision-making capacity. Even just taking 5 deep breaths activates your parasympathetic nervous system and brings your self-control back online. But here's the recovery method that surprised researchers the most. Simply acknowledging that your willpower is depleted instead of fighting it actually helps it recover faster. The people who understand this one principle never experience those devastating willpower crashes that derail most people's progress. So here we are, and I need you to understand something that could change everything for you. Willpower isn't some mystical gift that only lucky people receive.
It's a skill, a trainable, measurable, improvable skill. And in the 21st century, it might just be the most important skill you can develop.
Every single day, you wake up in a training gym for your willpower. Your morning routine, that's your warm-up. Resisting the urge to check social media during work, that's your strength training. Choosing to have that difficult conversation instead of avoiding it, that's your advanced workout. And just like at a real gym, some days feel harder than others. Some days you'll barely make it through your workout. Other days you'll surprise yourself with what you can accomplish. But here's what happens when you stick with it. You start seeing results in the mirror of your life. The research backs this up in ways that might shock you. Scientists have followed thousands of people over decades, and the data is crystal clear. People with strong self-control aren't just more successful in obvious ways. They're more successful in school and their careers, yes. They manage money better and have stronger relationships, absolutely. But here's the part that really got my attention. They're genuinely happier. How did you feel afterward? I'm willing to bet you felt proud. Accomplished, like you were actually in control of your life instead of just drifting through it. And the beautiful thing is, it's not about perfection. Remember,
Even the strongest people have days when their dietitian and self-control go on vacation together.
The difference is they know how to bounce back. They understand that building willpower is like building any other skill. It requires practice, patience, and yes, the occasional rest day. But most importantly, they know that every small choice is either strengthening their willpower muscle or letting it atrophy.
The question isn't whether you have willpower. You do. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Because once you understand that self-control is trainable, everything changes. Your goals stop feeling impossible and start feeling inevitable.